Hey, this is Bonnie McKee, and you're listening to the Renegade Millionaire Show.
What's up, y'all? This is Chitty Bang, and I'm on the Renegade Millionaire Show, the podcast that profiles entrepreneurs, founders, and CEOs. Join us as we go one-on-one inside the hearts and minds of some of our generation's best and brightest. And now, introducing your host, my friend, Sun Group Wealth Partners Managing Director, CNBC and Forbes.com contributor, Winnie Sun.
Hey everybody, thank you so much once again for tuning in. It's Winnie Sun, your host for the Renegade Millionaire Show. Super excited to be here with you. We are in beautiful Southern California. It is a steamy day. Had a little bit of traffic coming in, but now we are excited to get started. As you know, I'm financial advisor, managing partner at Sun Group Wealth Partners, and I'm here to share some fun stories with you. Take a moment if you have some time to follow me on Twitter. I'm really active there. And also, you can see my latest posts on Forbes.com. And with that, bookmark the show because we're going to get started. I thought I'd share a little bit of information with you today on singer-songwriters and all that we love in the music world. Did you know that when your song appears in a movie, a TV show, video game, or even a commercial, the publisher or record label makes a deal, and the writer gets a really, certainly sometimes quite a large sum of licensing royalties. Massive hits like Rolling in the Deep or Poker Face have made as much as $500,000 per year in just radio royalties. Spotify, YouTube, Rhapsody, and these other things are going to change rather quickly, and I can see the numbers rolling into millions. And with that, I'm really excited to introduce to you our guest. So Bonnie McKee is in the studio. Oh my goodness, I've seen her on the calendar for the last couple of weeks. I've just been giddy excited. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, the best day to have you too, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we were just so... Okay, you need to tell our audience why today is the best day to have you here.
Well, my EP came out today on iTunes, and I've just been watching it on the pop chart, and it's number 27, and that's all independent with no radio, no nothing. That's
no
just
marketing, no nothing.
Yep, that's just like pure fandom. So I'm really grateful to my fans for all of the support, and it's exceeded my expectations already. So
wow, incredible! That's huge. 27 is probably moving up even faster as we speak.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh my goodness! Well, I certainly am going to buy one. I'm sure those of you who are listening are going to buy one, and I encourage you to do so because she is one incredible lady. So let's kind of go through. Bear with me, everybody, but I wanted to read a little bit about Bonnie's bio, if those of you who are not that familiar with her. She is quite remarkable. In fact, she was born in Vacaville, California, right?
Yeah, that's
Isn't
right.
that like the Jelly Belly factory?
Yes, we used to go there for field trips when I was a kid.
I love that place. That's
Me
where
too.
that's awesome. Well, obviously the sweetest people must come from Vacaville, right? And then you were raised in Seattle. Mm-hmm. And you studied classical piano and became a member of the Seattle Girls Choir at age 12.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh, actually, yeah, I started at like 8 actually with the
really?
choir stuff. Yeah, I started playing piano in like first grade, and my parents got me really involved in music early on.
Smart parents.
It's all I wanted to do.
Really? Did you just walk around the house and sing?
Yes, and I would watch Madonna on MTV and Michael Jackson, and I would dance around, and I was just like, I want to do that. One day I'm going to do that.
That's incredible. At such a young age, you had focus already.
Yeah, always. It's always been understood in the household that like Bonnie's going to be a singer when she grows up. That was just, everyone knew it. It was just a fact.
Well, that's pretty awesome that your parents supported it.
Yes, I'm a really lucky girl.
Right?
Yeah.
So they encouraged you. So you start singing, and so let's talk about that. So you briefly attended the Bush School.
Uh-huh.
So what is the Bush School?
Bush was a private school that I was promptly kicked out of. I didn't even finish my 9th grade year there. I was in all kinds of trouble, and they had had enough of me, and they let me go before I could even finish my freshman year. So,
well, they're a loss. Obviously, you ended up doing great things afterwards, right?
I turned out all right.
No, you turned out just fine. So by age 15, you were writing songs and performing in the Seattle area already?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of songs did you write?
Well, I started writing songs when I was about 11 or 12, and actually, my mom was friends with Jonathan Poneman, who ran Sub Pop and signed Nirvana and all that stuff, all the Seattle stuff. And I gave him a demo of songs that I had sung, just covers, like, Fiona Apple and Carole King, all my heroes. And he said, "That's great, you can sing, but can you write?" And I took that as a challenge, and I went home and I wrote a song immediately. And I just have been writing ever since. So
That's incredible. And so since that time, she's written 9 #1 songs.
It's actually a 10 now.
It's 10 now.
I just got 10 last year.
Well, my apologies. Obviously, my producer dropped the bottom.
I made it into the double digits. I'm going to be okay.
I know, incredible. And they're not small songs, by the way. We're talking 10 #1s for the likes of Katy Perry, Keisha, Carly Rae, Kelly Clarkson, Britney Spears, and of course, the most important, Bonnie McKee.
Oh, thank
right?
you. Yeah.
So you make them sound good.
I do what I can. I mean, they're all super talented artists to begin with, and I just come in and kind of pull it out of them, So they're my muses.
And what I'm really excited to learn about you is not only were you signed at a record label at a very young age. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, I made a demo of the songs that I had written in my little challenge when I was a teenager, and shopped it around, and I got a record deal when I was 16 and moved to LA by myself. And I recorded a whole album and did a whole tour and did the whole thing. And, it was classic kind of Hollywood story where, everyone treated me wrong and everything fell apart, and I learned all my lessons. And then I kind of had to start from zero again. And when I got dropped, I put my head down and I just kept writing and writing and writing and honing my craft. And then I signed a publishing deal with Pulse Recordings, who have been my family since day one. And then that led to a deal with Dr. Luke, and Katy Perry and I were already friends, and we just kind of, I don't know, it was like a magic collaboration. We're kind of the dream team.
Wow, that's incredible. And, when you speak, I can hear the song voice.
Oh, thank you.
So we're gonna ask you to do something for us later. We'll have to ask you sing a couple lines.
All right,
just
sure.
to tease everybody. But so let's talk about your influences. So you talked about Madonna. I've read that you talk about Cher. So talk about, is this where how are they impactful in your young career?
Some of my earliest memories are of MTV. Like my last single was called American Girl, and one of the lines was, "I was raised by a television." And no offense, Mom and Dad, but I do feel like I learned so much about life from pop culture. And I remember the Madonna Express Yourself video where she's crawling on the ground and she's lapping up milk, and there's lightning and cats, and it was just so sexy and so mysterious and exciting. And I just knew that was what I wanted to do. And I also was obsessed with Michael Jackson. I still am, R.I.P. I'll never recover from losing MJ. And also I loved Guns N' Roses, and I remember the Welcome to the Jungle video was a big one for me, and like seeing him with the duct tape on his mouth, and I was like, why does this make me feel something weird? So yeah, it really shaped me as an artist and as a human being, I think.
And you've named people that have not only been incredibly talented in terms of music, but really smart as it pertains to music business and showmanship. So would you say, obviously a lot of people out there can sing. We've seen the shows like American Idol, but very few have done what you have done. People dream of writing one top hit song, but you've done 10.
Yes.
It's pretty remarkable. You're how old right now?
I'm 31.
You're so young to do so much at such a young age.
Thank you.
So where does this come from? Where do you? I've heard that you've been called like the female Pharrell. Like you're so talented,
Wow.
will write music.
That's so sweet. I've never heard that before. That's quite a compliment. Thank you. Well, I was lucky enough to study under literally the best songwriters in the world. I worked really closely with Max Martin, who is the #2 songwriter in the world in history behind George Martin. So I studied under him and Dr. Luke, and they taught me so much about kind of the mathematics behind a hit song. There is a formula, which doesn't mean that it doesn't have heart. It just means that there's like a way that the human brain reacts to music, and there are certain things that work. And if you know those little tricks, then you can kind of apply any story on top of it, and it'll work.
How interesting. So it's kind of a scientific formula.
Absolutely, yeah.
How interesting. So how long did you work under these greats?
Well, I still am lucky enough to work with them today, but I signed with Dr. Luke in, I guess it was maybe 6 years ago or so, and I went from, all of my songwriting being just self-taught and kind of sitting at the piano myself and figuring it out. And then I worked with Josh Abraham, who taught me a lot. He was a big producer as well. And I kind of got in the songwriting game, which I didn't even know existed. I didn't realize there was like a whole community of people behind the scenes that kind of give the voices to these artists.
Makes sense, though.
Yeah, definitely. And so, so I was lucky enough to study under these incredible people. And now I'm trying to pass that on to some of my young writer friends. And I'm signing people now. And
oh, wow.
So it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
Wow. So you now teach younger songwriters.
I mean, yeah, I have some little proteges around, and I don't know. It's really inspiring also to see like the next crop of songwriters come up, and like I met Megan Trainor. We have the same manager, and she came up to me and was like, "You were my idol. Like I was listening to your songs when I was in middle school or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so old. I can't believe like how is that possible?" But it's just really amazing to hear these newer artists and hearing that they were influenced by my work. It means everything to me. That's why I do what I do.
I mean, your songs are iconic. Some of the songs, if you're not familiar, are California Girls, right? Teenage Dream, Last Friday Night, TGIF. I mean, these are huge blockbusters that everybody sings to. Or I see they're bobbing their head in their cars to. How does that make you feel when a song plays on the radio and it's something that you wrote?
It never gets old. It's kind of a fun like secret identity, like I'll be at the grocery store and like Roar will come on and like I look around and like let's see people singing along to it or whatever and I'm like, yeah, I got a secret, and I know that I was a part of that. So it never gets old, and I really just do it for the people. I just want to make people happy. I want to make people feel good. That's why I do it.
That's incredible. So you do this out of passion and love. So
absolutely, yes.
So let me ask you this. I mean, you write songs for other people, and you've been hugely successful. You've also produced your own album. So now you've launched your album. So do you want to do both, or is one closer to your heart than the other?
I'll always be an artist first. That's where I started, and I love being on stage. And as much as I do love writing songs for other people, there's something that you can't compare to. You just can't compare to being on stage and having your voice be the one that's touching people and moving people. And, when I talk to the fans online and when I meet them in person and they tell me that I've helped them through something or made them happy at all, that's really why I do this, because I know that music saved my life when I was going through a dark time. And I went through a dark time, let me tell you. And without music, I don't know that I would have made it, honestly. And there's something really special about that. And I feel like when I'm performing on stage that I'm closest to God. It's transcendent for me. However, I love writing songs for other people, and I'm full of songs that aren't for me. So I might as well capitalize on that, and just get them out there and let someone else enjoy them,
That makes you a smart businesswoman. It's what we call in our industry diversification. That makes, it's wonderful. Actually, a good friend of mine, Randy Jackson, when we talked to him recently, he said, it's like you need to know where your talents are. If someone says you are really funny, you should be a comedian, then you're a comedian, even though you like dark dramas.
Right.
Know where your strengths are. And obviously you have multiple strengths.
Oh, thank you.
And it's great because at 31 years old, you've identified not only one strength, but multiple strengths, which is huge.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's definitely, the songwriting has gotten me where I am. And I think it's hard for me to kind of break out and be an artist, because people see me as a songwriter, and sometimes that's a difficult transition. But fail or fly, whether or not this EP does anything or works or not.
It's already doing something.
Well, thank you. But, if it doesn't do, I feel like people's expectations of me are so astronomical because of all of the number ones that I've had on other artists. It's like, okay, well, where's your Roar? Where's your Teenage Dream? Where's your Dynamite? And, I just have to remember why I do this, and it's just because I love it. I'm an artist. I love to be on stage. I love to connect with people. And I have to remember that it's not always about winning. It's about quality of life and just being happy with what I do and doing what I love.
Now, this maturity that you're talking about, let me ask you this, because I felt like when I went from 20 to 30, it all of a sudden I became like more zen. Do you feel like that's happened to you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I used to really trip about getting older, like especially being a pop singer and, with all the whole Pop-Tart stuff that happens. But when I turned 30, I really just, it was empowering. I really felt like I'm a grown-ass woman and nobody can tell me what to do. Like, I have a great track record. I'm self-built. I came from nothing, and I've earned my place here. And throughout my 20s, I think I really struggled with that and was just like, oh, well, this person says that I should be like this, and this person says that, and I can kind of be my own boss now, and I love it.
Is that part of the reason? I noticed also that you basically run your own label now?
I mean, I put out this EP independently, so I'm my own boss.
So that's
great.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're the first hand in the candy bowl, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how was that? That must have been a different experience for you. This album then is extremely personal. This is like when I interview chefs, they said, Winnie, you don't know, when I put that plate in front of you, that's my heart on a plate, and I hope that you enjoy that. So I imagine the same can be said about you.
Absolutely.
When you create your EP and the album goes up on iTunes, and you're probably just watching and seeing who buys it, but not even that, who buys it, what ratings they're giving you, right?
Yeah.
Because you want them to be happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's been very fulfilling doing it myself. And I've had 2 major record label deals in my career, and it can be great. And I may have another one day, but I just really needed to do this on my own, just to finally get something out. Because for so long it was like people recognize that I'm talented. They recognize that they can make money off of me, but everyone's like waiting for my Thriller. And I'm just like, if we
this
wait,
is your Thriller.
Yeah, I don't know, but if we wait for my Thriller forever, then it might not ever come out, so.
Might as well try.
Exactly. So I just was like, I just need to get the ball rolling. I just want to get something to my fans. They've been waiting for so long, and I just wanted to get something out and let it grow organically, So I'm really happy to be able to do that without the red tape of a label.
Yeah, it must feel good. And this is the time to do it, because now in the world of YouTube and Spotify, all these great venues where you can do your own thing.
Yeah.
Nobody said you had to be with the traditional label, right? This is the beauty of the internet. Thank you, Google, right?
Seriously.
That is awesome. Well, let's talk about, I want to talk about your musical aspirations. Talk about touring and traveling at such a young age. That's not an easy thing to balance with everything else you've got going on.
I love touring. It's my favorite thing. I have an all-girl band, so it's like a slumber party every night on the bus, and we're doing kind of a Runaways sort of a thing. And it's my favorite thing. It's cool because, believe it or not, it sounds like it's so crazy, but like it's the most structured that my life will ever be, because I wake up and I do the same thing every day. But I get to be in a different city and have a different experience every day. So it's not monotonous, but it's structure, and I really like it because in my life, everything is different every day. I never know what's coming tomorrow, or what my schedule is going to be, and that can sometimes be really hectic. And it's also like when you're in the studio, you never leave. Like I have no life, So it's nice to be able to be like, okay, today my responsibilities are I get up, I go to a radio station, I sing a song, I play a show that night, and then I'm done, and I can relax and enjoy myself. And when it comes to writing and being in the studio, it's like a full-time job.
Yeah,
and my friends are just
break.
my friends are just like, are we friends still? Are you okay? I'm like, no, just don't worry about it. It'll all make sense soon.
Wow, that's incredible. So when do you start touring for this album?
I don't know. We just are kind of taking it one opportunity at a time, and I'm hoping to do a tour this summer, but it's one of those things where you have to be invited, so I don't really have control over it.
Okay, people, you need to start inviting, because this girl is already like on the charts. So, yeah. So this is your open invitation to invite her.
I feel like I'm kind of like pulling away the curtain a little bit on that, and I'm supposed to be like, well, there are plans in the works, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm throwing it out there, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm just happy to be an artist,
Yeah, absolutely. This is incredible. There's so much that you've got going on. This is what I think people love. They love the honesty, because when you're someone listening to you sing, they think, oh, Bonnie McKee's got everything planned out, everything's laid out. But I think at least for me, these are things that we didn't know that went behind the scenes. So you're excited that this album is going on, and we're now hoping that people start to invite, which they will. And everything will kind of get planned out and formulated as we go on bit by bit, right?
Yeah, and it's like new opportunities coming every day. Like I just got a huge sync on Fox Sports with the Women's World Cup.
Wow.
And so they're using the song as Bombastic as a bumper in between commercials and stuff.
Bombastic?
Bombastic.
Bombastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
And I saw when I saw what they had cut together, it's like 35 seconds of the song, which is a really long time for something on TV. That's like a really good sync.
Right.
And it's all of these powerful, incredible women just killing it at what they do, and that's what the song is about.
Aww.
You know, so when I saw the bit that they had edited together, I was just like crying. I just couldn't handle it because it's exactly what I had seen in my head when I wrote the song. You know, that's what I wrote it for.
Well, good for them for doing that. They understood your
grateful.
vision.
Yeah.
So when are we going to be able to see this? I mean, at the World Cup?
Oh, it's playing now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
incredible.
it's playing through July.
Is it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I think there's clips of it. Yeah, I posted something on my socials too, so you can check that out. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. We're going to have to make sure we get all your social channels because we want to keep in touch with you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, like, what do you consider your first big break?
Oh, my first big break. Well, I signed a publishing deal, and that was like, well, I don't know. It's hard to say because I always think of my first album as a complete failure, and just like kind of a coming of age experience.
So it's an education.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was like my equivalent of going to college for music business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was that I just got to go live it and
Right.
get thrown out there
Which
as
is
a
so much
teenager.
better.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. I think you got to be hands-on. They can
the
only
only
teach you
way
so
win.
much in school. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as big breaks, I mean, my first hit was California Girls.
Yeah.
And that happened. It was kind of like all the stars aligned, you know. I was a broke, struggling songwriter, and you know, didn't have hot water and didn't have a cell phone, and was just the whole thing. And Katy Perry and I were friends, and she was also a struggling songwriter. And we actually met at Wasteland on Melrose, which is a vintage store where you can go and sell your clothes. So we were both like selling our clothes to try to just eat. And we met, but they're like very picky and snobby there. So they like reject your clothes, and you're just like standing there humiliated in front of a line of people. And so we were both being rejected by Wasteland. And and she's like, oh, hey, you're Bonnie McKee, because my album had just come out when I was still on Warner Brothers. And we were fast friends. And then she took off, and
So you guys met there.
Yeah, so we were already friends, and we were like, I don't know, 18 years old. And, you know, we would play shows together and stuff. And
So this is before she became the Katy Perry. So.
yeah, and I Kiss a Girl, none of that existed yet. And then, you know, she went off and did One of the Boys, which is an incredible album I'm a big fan of. And she brought me in on Teenage Dream. And there was just some magic that happened on Teenage Dream where it was me, Katy Perry, Dr. Luke, and Max Martin. And we were just the dream team. There's just something happens when we get together, and we all kind of pull our weight and bring in our strengths. And I don't know, it works, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean, so many hits from that beautiful thing. That's incredible. Well, you're such a smart businesswoman.
Oh, thank you.
You know, whether by choice or not, you've done a lot of things right.
Thank you.
So I'm curious. I always ask this question of our guests. So when you made your first real check, you know, everybody can think of this, but what did you spend? Did you buy anything interesting with your first real check?
My first real check, I think I probably paid my phone bill so I could get my cell phone turned on again. I got a car because I didn't have a car. I think I paid my debts. I was in trouble. I was in a lot of financial turmoil.
Actually, that's very smart. You pay. These are the things I tell my clients. You got to pay off your debts first. So you did where you're being very financially savvy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just wanted to be out of the red, you know, and then I moved out of my shithole apartment on Yucca, and
On Yucca.
and now I live in a house in the hills, and that was like, I remember, you know, people say money can't buy you happiness or whatever, but I gotta say, like,
Makes life easier.
Moving into a house where I felt safe and I had hot water, and you know, I could eat and I could drive and I could talk on my phone. it definitely improved the quality of my life, and I felt like I could die happy knowing that I had made some kind of an impact on pop culture. Because before that, it was kind of like, oh God, like, am I ever going to do anything? Am I a joke? Am I wasting my time? Like, am I one of those people that like goes and auditions on American Idol and thinks they're amazing and they're the butt of everybody's joke? Like, what am I doing? Do I need to move back home? And then, when it worked out, it was just like, it was just such a relief. More than anything, I felt relief.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. For someone so talented to say that, it just goes to show you that it doesn't matter how talented you are, you have to go out and work it like you did. I mean, you worked hard.
Yeah.
Obviously, you had good opportunities, but you worked your tail off. Like you said, there's days that you didn't see daylight because you were writing music.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah. Uh-huh.
And then people look at you and they say, wow, Bonnie looks like a model. She's beautiful. She must have had everything. And people probably put this stuff together. But no, you really worked your tail off.
You're sweet. Thank
to
you.
get here, right?
Yeah, and I'm still working. It never stops. And I've just always felt like the moment that I feel safe is when I need to work even harder, because it can go away so fast. And I've experienced that many times in my career. So,
wow,
I never stop. I never feel safe. Nobody's safe in this industry.
Yeah, keep working. So let's talk about a typical day in the life of Bonnie McKee. So what does it look like?
Well, I get up, I say my prayers, I do my tarot cards, I have a whole little thing that I do in the morning. I have my crystals. Oh, I brought my crystals with me, actually.
I love it.
There we go.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Mm-hmm. And then I usually go to a writing session and write a song, and then lately I've been going to rehearsals. So it's been kind of a lot because I'm doing rehearsals and songwriting, and then doing keeping up with everything online and doing my socials. And
do you do social media yourself?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I have people that are helping me for sure with marketing strategies and all that stuff, but I post all of my own things, and I see everything that every fan writes, and I like every picture if I'm tagged in it, and because it's so important to me that they know that I see them, because they're why I do it.
Yeah, and that you don't become just a machine. That's why I do my own social too. I love that connection.
Yeah, me
so when
too.
people say, "Oh yeah, thank you so much for liking me or connecting with me," I'm like, "Yes, thank you, absolutely. I'm so glad we were able to connect." And you actually recognize the names. You know?
Totally.
Because
Yeah,
they're giving time of their lives to connect with you.
Yeah, totally. And I just played a show for YouTube where they rebuilt CBGBs, which was so cool. And I think they flew in the old CBGB stage even, and I did a performance for some lucky contest winners. It was like 20 kids,
Aww.
and seeing them and recognizing them from the internet and knowing that they've been supporting me all along, it's like, I don't know, it's amazing. It's like a dream come true. I really just appreciate it so much, because I mean, to be honest, I live and die by other people's validation. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive, and haters, whatever, I don't care, but I just need to know that I'm helping people in some way, and that there's a reason, that there's a point to it all, because what's the point if it's just for me? What does that do for the world?
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, obviously your words mean something because you're actually reaching a lot of people. You've seen that from your work.
Mm.
And then today, the news about your album shows that as well. So people are just excited for this.
Thank you.
This is really, really good. Well, let me ask you this. So I've asked a couple other artists, your dream collaboration, who would you love to work with?
Oh, man, there's a lot of people. I'd love to work with Bruno Mars. I'm such a huge fan. He's such an exciting performer and incredible songwriter. And I know he does a lot of it himself, so he doesn't need me at all. But I would just love to be a fly on the wall.
He seems so nice too.
Yeah, and he is. He's always been sweet to me when I've met him. And also Lady Gaga. I love Lady Gaga. And again, she's another artist that's just fine on her own. She doesn't need the help, but I would love to meet minds with her.
Everybody needs people, believe it or not,
Yeah, of course. But I mean, I think she's the brain behind it. She's definitely not a puppet.
Yeah.
And she's really brilliant. She's a really brilliant artist and also an incredible musician. I mean,
yeah.
You don't see that every day where someone can write, sing, dance,
perform. And totally, she understands her brand, you know?
Absolutely.
She is her. She oozes everything. But I would say the same thing about you. When you walked in, you just had that presence.
Oh, thank you.
You just knew when you walked in, there was no escaping that you were Bonnie McKee.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It's true, though. I mean, and I think that comes with age, experience, and talent, and knowing yourself well,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Thank you. Thank you.
But I love that you're not just a singer, but you're a performer. And it's interesting to hear you say that, just how much feeling goes into every word that you write, right?
Absolutely,
And every note that you sing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Speaking of which, maybe we could tease you. Maybe you could tease us a little bit and sing a couple lines for us from your album.
Oh, boy. Okay, so this is a little piece of Wasted Youth, which is one of my favorite songs on the EP. It goes, hold on to your wasted youth. Hang on, 'cause it's gone so soon. So let's get it while we're young.
Oh my goodness. Oh, got goosebumps everywhere. Kevin too. Everyone's like shaking. Wow, incredible.
Thank you.
Sound like you came, wow, that's incredible. No wonder. Like I'm like speechless right now.
Just 2 lines. Come on now.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Holy incredible. I didn't know about you, but I'm surprised I haven't bought this album yet. Everybody in this room, we're buying this album. This is incredible.
Thank you.
Wow. Incredible. Let me ask you this. I'd love to talk about some of the songs on your EP. Can we get some information on that? Give us some inspiration, like your favorite song on the album.
I think my favorite is, I love Bombastic. That's really kind of my fuck you song. I wrote it when I was in a really frustrated place. I'd been dropped by Epic, and I was at a crossroads, and I needed to sit down and look at myself as an artist and
pissed off music.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just kind of it was a reminder that I'm a boss, and I hope that I can inspire other people to remember that as well.
Yeah. We all have those crappy days.
Yeah, and to just remember that it doesn't matter what other people think, and that, as long as you believe that really anything is possible. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it's so true. It's all mental,
It's all mental. It's a song you play when you're putting on your makeup in the morning.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And you need to feel your funk.
Yep.
Right?
When you're getting hyped to get out there and show them who's boss.
That's right. So that's your boss song.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, what else? So they're not all angry songs. What else we got?
Wasted Youth is about kind of seizing the moment. And, I know we've heard a lot of that in pop music, but it's a very nostalgic kind of classic song. It's very American. I think my songwriting is considered very American. And I don't know, it sounds like it belongs in a John Hughes movie or something.
Oh, wow.
So I love that one. And then there's a song called I Want It All that's really near and dear to my heart. And it sounds like it's a love song, but it's actually kind of a song to the fans. And, the first line is, I would make a deal with the devil, turn my heart into metal just to get to you. I would cut like a razor, sun and blood on the paper just to get to you. And it's really about selling my soul for rock and roll.
That's pretty deep.
And how I would do anything to get to my fans.
It gave me chills too.
It's real. And, when I hear it, and I don't know, I think people just think of it as a party song, but like that song is really, really deep to me. And because that's my whole existence, from the time I wake up in the morning to the time I go to sleep, I'm just obsessed. It's all I think about.
You think about is writing a song to reach your fans.
It's to reach people.
And get people to react and feel good.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's how I connect with people, because, I'm kind of a weirdo, and I'm kind of like isolated in what I do. And so the way that I connect with people is through music, and that's what that song is really about for me.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else we got?
And then there's one more song called Easy, and that's a funny one. I put it on the EP because my friends reacted to it so much. It's probably the most traditional pop song. But
it's a fun one.
Yeah, and it's it's very like 80s feeling. The whole thing has kind of an 80s vibe, but it's about a rebound that kind of went a little too far. So I don't know, it's sort of a plea for just something simple.
But that's fun though.
Yeah.
Well, very cool. How did you name the album?
Well, it's named after Bombastic, the lead single, and I don't know, it was just a word that I heard being thrown around, and everyone's like, oh, like, do you even know what that means? I'm like, yeah, it means like cocky and kind of arrogant and kind of flamboyant and over the top.
Awesome.
And, yeah, and kind of just, over the top, and I think the rest of the lyric reflects that. It's sort of a rah-rah cheerleader song, too. It's just about, like, getting out there and, winning.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of life is about.
That's like perfect timing. I can see this music being played at the Olympics.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had in mind.
Yeah.
And so when I got the Women's World Cup thing, I was just like, oh my God, this is exactly what I saw in my head, stadiums.
Yeah.
Like I want to just see people like celebrating and like, just like freaking out to it. I don't know if you've seen the video, but it's a little nuts.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Though.
It was a lot of fun to make. It was the most fun I've ever had making a music video. And it was one of those moments where it was like, fuck it. I'm my own boss. I'm my own label. And I don't have to go through, the corporate overlord filter. So I can just put out whatever I want.
Better.
Yeah, it's so much fun. So, so check out that video because I'm real proud of it.
Oh, yeah, we will, definitely. Well, on that note, let's talk about, like, how do we keep in touch with you? And we can, because I know there's going to be a tour coming. So how do we follow you and make sure that we don't miss any piece of Bonnie McKee?
Well, it's just my name at all of them. So it's at Bonnie McKee on Instagram, at Bonnie McKee on Twitter, and Bonnie McKee on Facebook. Real simple. Just keep it real simple for you.
Love it, love it. And which one are you on all the time?
I'm all three, actually. I'm pretty active. I do love Instagram. I post a lot of fun pictures and stuff and videos. But I do a lot of stuff on Twitter as well. So either one.
Oh, yay.
Come say hi.
Absolutely. Well, with that, we definitely will. And I'll make sure to follow you on all channels. And those of you who want to follow me, too, I'm extremely active on those as well, but mostly on Twitter. And that's Sungroup WP for me. And we'll make sure to post all of Bonnie's handles on the site as well, so you can follow her there. But with that, thank you so much, Bonnie, for being on the show. You are one incredible lady.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Yay. I'm so excited. And today, you can go out and buy her album right away. So, Bonnie, before we let you go, real quick, where do we get your album?
You can go on iTunes. It's just called Bombastic. And I hope you enjoy for your listening pleasure.
Yay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Talk to you next time.
Okay.